Welcome back, folks. Let's go to St. Armand Circle and speak with Ray in Sarasota. Ray, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you?
Doing well.
Excellent.
Steve, I got a question for you on Gilead. Where do you see it going from here?
Are you in it? What's your what's your outcome? Make money.
Well, I've got a long position, and I'm just a long-term holder, and
Okay.
It hasn't done much over the last couple of years, up and down a bit, but I'm a little bit underwater right now on the price, and
Okay.
I was hoping to see it close to $100 a share.
Well, I think that it's going to get back up to $100 a share. So, it is doing this little consolidation pattern. And the most recent, I'm looking, because you said long term, I just went to a monthly chart. And I'm going to put this, are you able to watch this on Tiger TV?
I am.
Okay, great. So I'm going to put this monthly chart up on the screen because it'll show you something. And somehow today we've been talking a lot about this Tom DeMark setup 9 count. And when that occurs on my charting system out here, although it's a little bit small, what I'm looking at from a monthly standpoint, to the extent that you are a chartist, I'm looking at July of 2016. And that high, there's a little green dashed line going across it. And by the way, that high, just so you know where the resistance level is, at 88.85. So when price takes that out, at least at this stage of the game, you'll know that you're onto something and this thing has crossed over a resistance level. Until then, it's basically consolidating between about $65 and $85, $88. But of course, you don't need me to tell you that. When this did make its high, it did it like everything typically makes a significant high, which was with the Rhodes momentum indicator pattern out here. And when it made its low, it did that with that Tom DeMark setup 9 count back really in February of 2017. So it doesn't look to me like it is dead money, other than it's consolidating. As long as your portfolio isn't overly invested, and this is just one of your investments, then it looks okay. I don't see a reason to exit this position. Not when I take a look at even the daily time frame as we speak right now. It is trading above on a daily basis, and this is a little short-term positive for you. It's trading over the high of August 31st. That high was 76.59. The reason, Ray, that I pick out that day is because it's very clear that we had a nice, this is where sellers showed up, a nice bearish engulfing candle. They showed up because they saw this little gap to the downside that took place on August 15th. So your real next resistance level is going to be the low of August 14th out there, even though it's just a tad higher. It's 77.82, and you're going to be looking for price to be able to overcome that. On a daily time frame chart, what's nice is that yesterday we had the price oscillator, and that's the difference between two exponential moving averages. In our case, it's the 19 and 39, and we had that reach the 0 level. Now, it's not showing on my screen because I use my line to switch from green to red when I know that it's at 0. And so today it's back in the green side. We have a rising price oscillator above 0. So that's another little positive. And maybe from a daily perspective, it's getting ready to kind of take off to at least start to head back to that resistance area that you and I looked at on the first monthly time frame chart. So on a weekly basis, it says it's headed to 79.04 before it reveals the next piece of information to you. But you're pretty committed to this from the long term?
I am, and it pays a decent dividend while I wait.
Okay, so I don't see this giving us any signal, not yet at least, not as of today on September 27, giving us any signal that it's trying to make some kind of large A to B equals CD to the downside or anything along those lines, and that this thing is headed to 30 or 40 or 50 or something like that. So even though you may be under a little bit of water at this stage, it actually looks pretty decent.
Good. Well, thank you very much for your comments. I appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure, and thanks so much for calling. That was Ray in the beautiful town of Sarasota out there. All right, so I've got to go back to Mike's question, which was about the GDX and gold.